That's very generous, sir.
Well, I'm very fond of these droids.
Then I'm glad we could return them.
The simplest gesture of kindness can fill a galaxy with hope.
Isn't that a Jedi saying?
Safe travels, my friend.
Safe travels.
You didn't tell them my name.
Of course I didn't, Senator Organa, but this entire ordeal has rather stressed every one of my circuits. Permission to shut down?
Granted. You recorded everything, old friend? Good. We'll focus on the Imperials later. For now, show me what you have on your rebels.
Got your mother in a whirl. She's not sure if you're a boy or a girl. Hey, baby, your hair's all right. Hey, baby, stay out tonight. You like me and you like it all. You love dancing and you look divine. You love bands and they play it hard. You want more and you want it fast. Put you down, you say I'm wrong. You tacky thing, you put them on.
JP,
Rondo,
are you here? Where are we?
do you feel it?
I feel something. Where are we?
It's dark here. It's in the vortex.
The
time.
man, we're still stuck in the holiday vortex.
Run! Run! Run!
JP.
We're still in time vortex. So who knows where we are calling from?
Yeah, we're recording these out of order.
There's so much
on
to
our
talk
heads.
about, Ron. There's so much to talk about.
We just can't stop talking.
We've been recording 2 a night for the past 3 months.
Right.
Releasing them randomly.
Just need a day off. Folks,
Prepared long ago.
expect some of these podcasts to be a little bit out of order through the month of December as we're kind of trying to work in a holiday schedule, so maybe we can have a little bit of time off. So we're recording a couple of episodes a week.
Yes.
Trying to make sure that our audience has podcasts to listen to throughout the holidays.
Honestly, Ron, I feel like we're kind of hitting a stride here, and just at the right time, because God damn if there's not new news every day.
There is a lot going on.
This is probably the most excited I've been about Star Wars since ever.
And you're excited about Star Wars because Rebels is finally on a break?
Because Rebels is done. Celebration.
Oh, thank God the show is over.
It really took me on an emotional journey. But let's not tip our hands.
Let's not go there
First
yet.
off, let's do a little housekeeping,
All right.
as we are wont to do.
JP, we are.
God, thank you, Ron.
Yeah.
We are Delusions of Granular.
All right, and I'm Ron.
I'm JP. You can always reach out to us and let us know what you're thinking at our Facebook at facebook.com/SWDog.
Or you can like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter at...
a little rusty.
Yeah, there's a reason why I'm rusty about this, but I'll talk about this after I get the important news out. So, like us on Facebook, facebook.com/SWDog. Follow us on Twitter at SWDog77.
Don't forget, you can always go to the hub at Delusions of Granular. That's granular, not grandeur.com.
You can download all our episodes there or listen to them directly through streaming. You can, if you like the show, please leave us a review on iTunes.
Oh, yeah, iTunes
Greatly
reviews.
appreciate that.
I had to go to a therapist to quit thinking about iTunes reviews.
I want to talk about that in 1 second. Also, finally, call us. Leave us a voicemail.
Yeah, I'm really into this.
Yeah.
I really dig it.
We want to hear your voice. We want to hear who you are out there. So, leave us a message. Talk about anything. If we like it, we'll play it on the air. So call us at 651-33-SW-DOG. That's 651-33-SW-DOG, and the numbers for that is 651-337-9364. And I promise I'm going to memorize that.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know.
Me too.
I don't know if other podcasters are listening to this show or not, but it
Oh, they
seems
definitely
like
are.
there is like all the podcasts I listen to, because that's what I do, is I listen to other podcasts.
Of course.
They all seem to be really pushing the iTunes reviews lately. Like
Oh,
all of a sudden, out of nowhere.
It's holiday sweeps, Ron.
It must be. Yeah,
Everyone
right.
knows that. Yeah. We got to get renewed for another season.
Yeah, I was like, wow, everyone's... Also, I noticed, and this is kind of a critique on ourselves,
Oh, boy. I don't know if I like it. Okay, go on.
they run through their like contact information in like a minute.
Well, sure, but no one can remember that. But everyone's going to remember
Yeah.
651-337-9364.
Yeah. We run through our
talk about
contact
so slow.
information in like maybe a good 10 minutes.
Yeah, hey, I think it deserves it.
That's right.
Oh,
Like us on Stitcher as well.
yeah, and Stitcher, whatever that is. So,
So,
I just totally blanked there for a minute, but you mentioned other podcasts listen to us. I had this weird thought today.
Yeah.
So, like, there's so much Star Wars news, right?
yes.
And theoretically, the geeks have won, and we are living in a geek culture.
Yes.
Probably 85% of the population, including celebrities, are Star Wars fans.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
That's a reasonable estimate.
Sure.
So that means, like, let's see, who's a hip young celebrity? Taylor Swift, Skrillex, these types of people.
Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake. Like, is he still young?
He is. Well, he's young in my eyes.
Right. So I was just thinking, like, where do they go when they need Star Wars? Because I know sometimes I just need to fill the void. When it's like no one's talking about Star Wars. And I start listening to shitty podcasts that aren't ours.
Right.
Just to like hear someone
Someone
talk
talk
about it.
Star Wars, right?
It's like, do you think they're out there? Do you think they're one of our 60 downloads we get a day?
Justin,
it's like Doug Smith in Iowa and Skrillex.
and Skrillex.
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake, if you're out there, call in.
Yeah, Skrillex, sample us.
Right.
Okay, anyhow, that's enough goofiness for
All
now.
right. Well, yeah, because we have serious news to talk about,
Serious news. I'm going to kind of start the episode on a downer, fitting for a Rebels episode.
which is what we usually do.
Yep. David Prowse has announced something very sad. He has dementia. His mind
Yeah.
is going.
Dave Prowse, the body of Darth Vader.
Yeah, it's true. I debated what to talk about with this because he did have a career beyond Star Wars.
I beg to differ there.
Well, in Britain.
No, I have numbers to back this up.
Oh, okay.
I was just before I was leaving work today. I pulled up another Star Wars website.
Yes.
And they did a analysis of who has been the most successful and least successful actor after Star Wars.
Right.
So who would you say is the most successful actor
Natalie Portman.
outside of Star Wars?
Natalie Portman.
Actually, let me clarify. Original trilogy actors.
Oh, OT actors. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wait, post what they did in Star Wars?
Post Star
Not
Wars.
counting their stuff
Post
before.
Star Wars, yes.
Ooh, James Earl Jones. If you count him, he's a voice actor.
That is very close, very close.
Okay.
James Earl Jones is the most prolific.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, he's done 43
working man in show business.
43 films.
Oh.
Okay, after Star Wars. I believe this is post Star Wars numbers,
Yes.
right? No, the most successful, of course, Harrison Ford.
Oh, God. Duh. What the hell am I thinking?
Right.
Yeah. I didn't
So,
even think
who
about
is the least successful actor post Star Wars?
it. Ewan McGregor. Oh, OT. Princess Leia.
No,
Okay.
no.
Who? I don't even give Carrie Fisher a name. Tragic.
Dave Prowse.
Oh.
Oh.
How would you
He's
you got
appeared. He's appeared in one film after Star Wars, and can you guess what that film is? Close.
Battlestar Galactica.
No.
1980.
A documentary.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, he
the
was
people versus
Hey,
George Lucas.
He was also the Green Cross Code man.
I know,
whatever.
but that was pre-Star Wars, right? Like that was
it?
Star Wars kind of ruined his career as the Green
no,
Guardian.
no. I think this still went on for a long time. Because I watched a whole stream of these recently, where there's one where he's got a droid with him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. And
good for you, Dave Prowse.
Hey, you know what? And much like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he started in the freak sport of bodybuilding before bodybuilding
Right.
became sexy.
Right.
Back in
Right.
the 70s when it was actually a freak sport.
Right.
Like
So
there
he-
was no mainstream coverage.
Yeah.
You were a weirdo.
So you can't really complain about his career. Even
And he
though
also
does.
brought something to that Darth Vader role that only bodybuilders who turn actors can bring. I'm looking at like Kane Hodder with Jason Voorhees. That kind of weird lumbering gait that an actor could never really do.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, Hayden couldn't do it.
No, God, no. Yeah, we saw that.
We saw that.
But, so, Dave Prowse, trying to make a joke here, but there's nothing funny about that. That said, today's December 3rd, and December 3rd, 1999, funny woman Madeline Kahn passed away.
Oh, man.
Big question there is, did she get to see Phantom Menace before she went?
Did Phantom Menace kill her?
Well, R.I.P. Heaven got a whole lot funnier that day. Now, we did just skip over this week. Also, we had a big birthday.
Oh, yeah?
Treat Williams.
Now, I feel like we've talked about Treat Williams on the show before.
Yeah, Treat Williams. He was the...
He was in Star Wars?
Treat Williams, famous for being in Empire Strikes Back, and also all the Substitute, that is the film The Substitute, sequels, the direct-to-DVD sequels. Treat Williams.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Delightful man.
Here's the thing.
Great.
I feel like I was the one that brought up that Treat Williams was in
I do.
Star Wars.
I agree.
I feel like I brought that up.
I agree.
And now I have no recollection of that at all. Like, where was he in Empire?
He's an unnamed...
Is he an Imperial?
something. Is he a gunner?
Is he Boba Fett?
No.
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 Is he?
Max
He's an
Boba
Imperial,
Boba Fett.
right? Or is he a rebel or an Imperial?
You know what? I looked this up literally not more than 4 hours ago, and I have no idea.
Oh, well,
So.
happy birthday, Treat.
Yep. He's still going. God bless him.
Right. He is still going. Like, he's still making stuff, right? He's current.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Treat Williams is the man about town.
He's a treat.
You know what?
Just a
He
treat.
is just a treat.
Just a treat.
So, by the way, Madeline Kahn, for those of you who don't know, is famous for Mel Brooks films such as...
Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein. Yeah, there you go. Young Frankenstein, that's all I gotta say. Is she in Spaceballs? She didn't get a Spaceballs role.
She was not in Spaceballs. I think she was in Blazing Saddles.
I really tried hard to make everything connect up tonight.
I know.
Speaking of, right down to the beer we're drinking tonight, I was marketed to, and I bought one of those large corked bottles of beer. It's the official Game of Thrones Valor Morghulis Double Ale.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting that you bring that up.
Yeah.
Interesting. My history of podcasts, listening to podcasts, watching podcasts, starts early on with a little show called Dig Nation.
Dig Nation. Yeah. Not familiar.
Dig Nation was the
Dig is in Dig.
Yeah.
Dig.
D-I-G-G.
Yes, Dig.
Yeah. So it was the podcast, video podcast, actually, by Kevin Rose, who created Dig.
Oh.
Okay? It was a video podcast, him and Alex Albrecht, he kind of made a name for himself in the podcast world. I don't know what he does now.
Sure.
But maybe, like, they've long since quit podcasting, moved on to bigger and better things. Maybe we need to take up one of their regular habits on the show.
Heroin.
No, close. What they did was every episode they would drink a different kind of beer and talk about what that beer was, and kind of make it a tasting episode, part of the episode. Also, on special live versions, they would get a 40 ounce.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
And duct tape it to their hands.
Oh, the old Edward 40 hands.
Yeah.
I went to college.
Right. They didn't do that when I was in college.
Oh. Did you play Wizard Staff ever?
No.
Oh, that's a hell of a game. No. But, yeah, this was kind of a tester. This was a freebie HBO. HBO and Umer Gang or whatever.
Right.
That just to show you how good of a live read we can do. Feel free to contact us at, what we said at the top of the show.
That's right. If you want your beer promoted on the show, send us some beer and we will we'll taste it for you guys.
Yeah. See, did we give out our email address? swdog77@gmail.com?
Well, we just did now.
So, for all endorsers or fans, we don't have fans, we have listeners.
Right.
swdog77@gmail.com. Okay, are you guys happy? We did 13 minutes and 6 seconds
minutes of nonsense.
Nonsense.
All right.
Let's get down to business.
What are we talking about?
Thank you. You took the words right out of my mouth.
What are we talking about this week, KP?
Rebels has announced it is now on official hiatus.
Holiday break.
Holiday break.
Holiday break.
Those little.
I don't think they've said the
CGI,
words hiatus.
Yeah. Those CGI maquettes, they get tired.
Yeah.
They got families.
Yeah. Too bad we're not getting a Rebels Christmas special.
It is kind of weird. Why is the Christmas special silence gone? Is it just because of the PC element?
No, it's because the Star Wars Christmas holiday special has ruined all Christmas specials for Star Wars.
I saw StarWars.com tried to push some kind of holiday release thing of the indoor.
That was like a big 40th anniversary or something.
Oh, was it a 4th anniversary? I thought they were doing it.
It came out 40 years ago.
Fuck no! I mean, did Star Wars come out 40 years ago?
No, but still,
yeah.
So maybe it was 25th anniversary.
Oh, sure, whatever. One of those. I feel like it was actually one of those goofy anniversaries where it's 20th anniversary.
Yeah,
that's the thing we celebrate. I
right.
guess.
I remember we did this.
Yeah.
Nobody watched it.
Yeah, it's who did that recently? Didn't Lost do a 10-year? But they were
Has it been 10 years since
they were
Lost?
Counting from when it ended and no, that doesn't even make sense. It was from when it began.
When it began.
Yeah.
You don't celebrate when it begins.
Yeah, maybe it was 15 years from when it began. That would make sense, right?
I guess. When did that begin?
I was in high school, so 2001, 2002.
Right. Folks, and maybe we covered this in the Vortex
and all
episodes.
this connects, because that's JJ.
Right, as I was going to say. This all is connecting into the Vortex, the holiday Vortex we're in, because you may or may not have already listened to our JJ episode.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of the new era of Star Wars, is that it all connects. Yeah. My beer is Star Wars.
6 degrees of Star Wars.
We didn't even make that connection. The reason we're talking about the Game of Thrones beer is because of we're trying to support poor little Gwendolyn Christie.
Yeah, she's going to need a lot of... she's going to need help from us in the next coming years.
Well, I'm sure she gets a good portion of what I spend.
Yeah, she's not doing anything good in her career.
But you know what? I'm chomping at the bit to talk about other things.
Rebels.
But we got to talk about Rebels. Damn it. This is
Rebels. Right.
Rebels.
So Rebels has gone on a little bit of hiatus. Read into that what you will. We have. We'll get into that, I suppose, in a little bit.
Literally just biting my tongue.
Right. But we wanted to kind of give you our take on where we think the show is at now, currently.
Sure.
We're basically 8 episodes through it.
Yeah.
7 episodes in a movie.
Yeah, if there is a bright center of the universe, we are at the point farthest from.
That's right. That's right. So, yeah, we wanted to kind of share with you our thoughts on Rebels, what we think of the show so far, what we think is working, not working, what we hope for it in the future, what we've heard about what's going to happen with it in the future.
Yeah, and this is a funky thing, because this is the first thing that we're commenting on that actually launched while the show was live.
That's right. Yeah, this is kind of our
it's a whole new
follow-up.
canon.
It's a follow-up episode for us because we did a Rebels episode when it first premiered.
Yeah, and long-term listeners will probably repeat ourselves a little bit. But
probably. How can we not repeat the Wookiees?
Oh man. Yeah.
But that was kind of our kickoff. We did an episode right before really the main season started.
That's right.
We talked about the movie premiere, the 2-episode premiere, Spark of Rebellion.
Yes, the 44-minute movie.
I believe we pretty much liked it, although we had a huge problem with the
we were very rah-rah. We were we were so open.
Yeah.
To hey, first season, first thing, Hey, Clone Wars wasn't perfect initially, right? That's a big battle cry for those of us who are defending things.
Right, sure. And, we got through it, and everything was going along great, and then we got to the Wookiees.
Yeah.
The Wookiees being really a sticking point for us in that first episode.
Yeah, me in particular. I could not... I mean, to be fair, I think... Well, you asked me what I thought of it, and I sent you... just like a string of screenshots.
Yeah, screen grabs. You sent me those screen grabs today, and I was trying to be positive about them.
Yeah,
and then you kept sending more and more of them. I was no, but look at this one. Okay, I can't argue with it. It looks
looks bad.
It looks I can't even really compare it to anything. I was going to say it's like a Disneyfied Wookiee, but it's not even a Disneyfied Wookiee because Disney would have done a better job.
Yeah. I mean, if you're, oh man, it's bad.
Well, so let's not be totally
Let's
negative
not
on
do-
this.
yeah, let's not dwell on it. Let's
What's
set it up.
great about this is like they did not go back to the Wookiees
Hey.
in 7 episodes later.
Right.
They have not touched on that plot line again.
Nope.
So, quick glimpse of bad Wookiee animation, and then we're on to the next thing.
Okay, so this is going to be hard to get all through, but let's just set up a few parameters here.
Sure.
Number one, this is all canon. This is the first new canon.
It is all canon, yes.
This is all canon. This happened. This is just as real as Luke Skywalker not going to get some power converters at the Tashi station and staying home with the droids. and
Sure.
such. This is that
Well,
real.
the droids show up in it,
That's right.
so
That's right.
Yeah, that's canon.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
canon. That happened. Bail Organa shows up. And that's real.
That's big. Yeah, that's big. Whoa.
I think we were all waiting for the Bail Organa.
Yeah, man. Jimmy Smits just can't get enough of him.
I love Jimmy Smith.
The other thing about this, like, is it? Are they still talking about this as really like a direct connection to The Force Awakens? Like,
Certainly doesn't seem like it.
yeah, right. Doesn't seem
Before
like
there was a lot of like mystery built up where it's like it seemed as if the way they were talking about this new story group and stuff that like, hey, anything could be real now.
Right.
That Darth Maul comic could directly impact The Force Awakens, could directly impact the TV show. The TV show could,
Right.
characters are going to go
Right.
seamlessly in between all
Right.
mediums,
Right.
finally.
it doesn't feel like this is impacting anything.
It doesn't feel like anything's impacting anything wrong.
Yeah,
It does. So far, this new
feels
canon
very,
is a crock of shit.
Well,
Sorry. Okay, but we're not starting negative. We're
no,
not
but
starting negative.
I mean, basically, what you're saying is Rebels is a crock of shit.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's all we're really,
Yeah,
we've
if
really
you
got.
guys don't want to listen to the next hour, we're not fans. I mean,
Yeah.
there are good things.
There are good
and there
things.
are things I look forward to, and I hope that they will improve upon and underline.
Sure.
Yes.
I would say this, folks. I've been hearing on the internet that the people that are enjoying the show, they're like, well, Clone Wars didn't start out that great either. Clone Wars runs for 22 to 23 episodes a season.
Yeah.
We are getting 13 episodes of Rebels a season.
Sure. Well, but in the world of television, that's not that weird for someone
No.
to.
But we're already 8 episodes into it.
Right. But I mean, that's not that weird in television, right? For the first season, they have a smaller run, and they have a larger run the second and third. Right?
I don't know if we're getting that. I feel like they're going to do 13 episodes for every season.
Well, that has not been announced, so that's pure speculation. But
because the animation is so technical, they can't do. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's.
Folks, we're just getting pulled to the dark side left and right here.
Okay, so let's just set it up for everybody. All right. Assumedly, if you listen to this podcast, you kind of know the general thing about Rebels, but maybe you haven't taken the time. I talked to a good friend recently who's a crazy Star Wars nut, and he hasn't watched a single episode yet. Right. It's all free to watch on StarWars.com right now.
Not all. I think just
really?
a few select episodes. I don't think they put it all on there yet, but yeah, it's going to be. There are episodes on there. I believe even the premiere Spark of Rebellion is on there.
Right. I find it very interesting that they released it on Disney XD, which is, behind a paywall. It's a whole thing. And then they released Sparks of Rebellion with an added Darth Vader thing.
Right. Which,
on network television on ABC.
Right. Still doesn't go anywhere.
Yep. And now they're just like putting it out there on the internet. Just like, hey, watch it. Check it out.
Here, next
Trying
level.
to build any kind of audience to sell those poor toys.
They are the next step, just throwing it all up on YouTube. And then after that,
I think it is, though. Yeah.
You'll wake up one day, it's in your iTunes library.
I actually am kind of shocked that like U2 was able to negotiate to get their album in my phone, because we were talking about that. We'll save that for the preview special. Anyhow, let's just set up the character setup. Like, let's just run.
Yeah,
through it real quick.
let's give some structure to this show.
This
Let's
is
run
different
down-
from other Star Wars things in that it takes place entirely on one planet.
Yeah,
Lothal.
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 Lothal. Google gobble. Main characters, and I'm going to just list these characters off directly as they put it on the Disney website.
Gotcha.
Because I felt like this was somehow indicative of how they feel the character's importance is.
Because it's not alphabetical order.
No, yeah, exactly. This is how they list it.
All right.
You got the Inquisitor. He's
right.
the main
Bad guy.
Big bad. Ooh. And now what's weird is the Inquisitor is tasked by Darth Vader to hunt down the remaining Jedi Knights. That's what they say on the website. So we have a helper. This was a big fear of ours going into the show.
Right.
We'll discuss that soon. We have Ezra. He's the main character. He's the one you're supposed to identify with. He's the young boy with the blue hair, looks like Aladdin. Ezra is a con artist with crazy fast reflexes. He sees things a few seconds before they happen.
Con artist? They describe him as a con artist?
They do. Who learns how to fight for the greater good.
Okay.
Well, I says a greater good, not the greater good. So,
Okay.
there,
All right.
Yeah, it's semantics, but.
All right.
Next up is Hera. Hera is an ace pilot able to fight. This is a Twi'lek with a heart. This Twi'lek is the heart of the Rebel crew.
The Twi'lek that you maintain is wearing a pair of shorts on her head.
Yeah, I love that.
Short pants.
Yeah. You know what? Ahsoka, it took me a long time to come to like Ahsoka.
Sure. Because of the character design.
I came to really like her quickly. And then one day I looked at her head and was like, is that flesh?
Yeah, it's hard.
It freaked me out.
Yeah.
And so I eventually got over that. But yeah, how do you like that snowdrift?
Yeah, we've
vanilla?
moved on to Snowdrift Vanilla Porter.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I was hesitant. That's why I had to get a backup thing.
No, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Kanan. Now,
Kanan.
The Jedi survivor of Order 66, Kanan has been underground for years evading the Empire.
Right. Kanan Prince Jr. is his full name.
That's right. The young Republican, Freddie Prinze Jr.
That's right.
Sabine is a key member of the Rebel crew. She is the sexy Mandalorian with a love for blowing things up and tagging her work with graffiti.
No, wait. Satine was a character
Sabine.
Sabine. Satine was a character in the Clone Wars.
Was with Queen, Empress, Governess
Something like that, of Mandalore.
Yeah.
So Sabine is a Mandalore? Or
She wears the Mandalorian armor.
armor.
I don't think we know anything about
Okay.
it. Zeb is, every team needs a big guy.
Yeah.
Zeb is the muscle of the Rebel crew and is a happy, so he's punching stormtroopers.
The hairless Wookiee.
yeah.
Do we know what his race is?
Yeah, they named it.
Oh, okay.
But I don't remember. He's the last of his kind.
Yeah.
Crocus.
Right.
And then we have the lovable droid Chopper.
Not lovable at all.
He's a
Not
grumpy
lovable.
droid. He's a grumpy droid.
Not
He's a key
lovable.
member of the Ghost. The Ghost of the ship, by the way.
Quite possibly the worst character. He is awful.
Tasked with keeping the ship running, he enjoys pranking the heroes.
Pranking the heroes, which is basically putting them in mortal danger.
Yeah, trying to kill them.
This
is a malfunctioning droid. Put this fucking thing down.
Yeah.
And finally, the unassuming Agent Kallus. Agent Kallus is an opposing agent from Imperial Security Bureau, i.e. the secret police that monitors the loyalty of the Empire. I have a belief about Agent Kallus.
Wait.
Captain Sideburns.
All right, Captain. I had to think, who is that? Which is bad.
I have
8 episodes into that, I'm like, who's Agent Kallus? Oh, Captain Porkchop.
I have a belief about Agent Kallus.
Because he has the pork chop sideburns with the helmet that protects the sideburns, which is...
Well, yeah, it's one thing if you
gotta protect your
if you
sideburns.
Pierce my face, but
don't mess with
don't
the
fuck with the sideburns.
Right.
It's really, if you get those uneven, you're fucked. You can never get them back. Spoken from experience. I believe Agent Kallus in the original pitch of this was the big bad. I believe there was no Inquisitor, and I believe a combination of executives and toy company executives said, you gotta have a lightsaber character.
Okay, you
gotta have a bad lightsaber.
You led me right into my question here.
That's what I do.
I've watched these episodes. Some of them I watched a couple times.
Sure. Some I've watched drunk. Some I've watched very sober.
Mostly I've
Somber.
watched them drunk.
Yes.
As I watch all Disney XD
they're only
episodes.
22-minute episodes, but I start out very sober, and by the end I'm just pissed drunk.
As I did not rewatch them for this episode of SW Dog because what's the point?
Sure.
But as I
You're skewing a
recall,
little dark.
as I recall,
Yeah.
Kallus didn't use a lightsaber?
No. Right?
Okay.
Did he?
I don't know. Wait,
what?
does he?
No.
He never uses a lightsaber.
No.
There's never a lightsaber in Kallus's hand.
I can't actually speak to that.
Doesn't he? Oh, he has a battle with Zeb,
Yes.
and that it's kind of like a battle of
Yeah.
sticks.
Yeah, a
Right.
stick battle.
It's a stick
Yeah,
battle.
they have an American Gladiator-esque
Yeah,
giant
yeah.
Q-tip battle.
Giant Q-tip battle,
Yes.
but it's not okay. That's why I was getting a little bit confused. My
Right.
memory is failing me.
Sure.
Okay, so Kalis doesn't use lightsabers, and Disney is like, no, we need lightsabers in this, so
So
insert
theory,
the
just a
Inquisitor
theory.
into this.
Because here's the problem.
And make it a red lightsaber that spins.
Oh, fuck me. Yes. Here's the problem.
What?
Okay, so
logic does don't bring logic into this.
okay, like we were kind of.
I like the spinning lightsaber.
Do you?
I do.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
I mean, like, hey, you know what? I am not a stickler about lightsabers.
Sure.
I feel like they can come in any kind of form. I remember when we talked about the Clone Wars, I rationalized all the lightsaber weapons away by saying, hey, it makes sense. If there's a cool new weapon that like the big guys are using,
Sure.
Jedi,
Sure.
you're gonna make knockoffs that don't work at all.
right.
You know, you're gonna have dark sabers. You're gonna have the laser
All those
whips.
dark sabers are sweet.
Yeah, they were totally sweet. They're all sweet. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm into it. I'm fine with it.
All right.
But
you don't like the spinning one.
no,
Why?
because it's used dumb.
Really?
I think so.
I
Here's the problem I have. Here's the biggest thing I have is that like this show in particular uses this all the time. So theoretically, like the Jedi are kind of like samurai or something, right?
yeah, something
You know?
like that. Sure. Ancient
And
warriors.
they're always talking about it's such a big freaking deal how they make their lightsaber, how they get it. They have to earn it. They can never lose it. It's such a deal. Whenever I see a Star Wars thing where characters are throwing their lightsabers and using the Force to whip them around,
Yeah.
it's like, well, hardly this seems like a big deal. It seems like it's just like, why not use a blaster?
But-
and just pull the trigger a lot and spin that around.
Does
Like,
I can justify this, but
Okay.
wait. Does the Inquisitor do that? Does he throws it?
oh God, yes.
I don't remember him throwing it.
Oh, God damn it, Ron. Yeah, episodes 6 and 7, Gathering Forces and Empire Day.
Oh, okay. He throws it in that.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
And then
All
he
right.
also he puts it on his back at the end, which I like because the action figure can probably do that, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing about the lightsabers.
Oh, no. Oh, sorry, one more thing. Sorry.
Yes.
The spinning, yeah, there's another reason I don't like them.
The spinning.
The spinning, it's not just that he throws it. It's that he can hold the middle of it
Yeah.
and press something and it spins.
Yeah.
What? Oh, come on, dude.
What?
That sucks. Like, how is that better than a blaster? Like, at that point, it's like, if I'm having a mechanical lightsaber that, like, moves by pressing a button,
Right.
what the fuck am I doing?
Well, we're progressing to the eventuality of a gun that shoots lightsabers.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we've always dreamed of.
That's
right?
what we want,
I mean,
right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just like
let's just
shoot
do it.
lightsabers.
Yeah,
It's a bazooka that shoots lightsabers.
I mean, theoretically, you could shoot a lightsaber into outer space. Like, you could take down a Star Destroyer, right? Because it can go through anything.
I guess
What a great weapon.
I don't know
Great weapon.
Okay, so what we know about lightsabers is they are a more elegant weapon for a more civilized time.
Yeah, but they didn't
Right?
take down General Grievous.
Hold on,
Sorry.
Sparky.
Sorry.
Okay, so my legitimate defense of these weird ass lightsabers
Yes.
is Obi-Wan says the lightsaber was a civilized weapon for a elegant weapon for a more civilized time.
Sure.
Okay.
Absolute age. Yes.
A civilized age.
Yes.
And it's not as clumsy or random as a blaster.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
I maintain that we've never seen that civilized age.
Okay.
Okay?
Fair.
That in Phantom Menace, when Darth Maul shows up with his crazy ass dual lightsaber,
Yeah.
that is the end of the civilized age.
Oh, nice.
Right?
Nice. Okay.
So now we're getting crazy ass shit, and we've never actually seen the lightsaber in the civilized age.
Okay, so you're saying, hey, everyone's being so puritanical about these lightsabers. Guess what? All of it's bullshit. Like
All of it's bullshit.
Yeah.
We've never seen the civilized age in canon.
Yeah, Mace Windu's purple lightsaber, not civilized thing.
Right.
No. Uh-uh.
So I'm okay with all of these crazy ass lightsabers. I'm okay with the Inquisitor's lightsaber spinning around, throwing it, whatever, because we are now and we've exited the civilized age, and it's no holds barred now.
Okay, sure. So it's... We're eating pizza as we do this. So we've reached a point now where it's... everything's racing towards atrophy. is what you're saying. It's getting sillier and sillier.
Atrophy or anarchy.
Right, anarchy, yes.
Yeah. It's anything goes. You know, let's face it. The name of the show is Star Wars, right?
Right.
So if it was Star Peace, then we would have seen that civilized age.
Of course, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's Star Wars. Phantom Menace is, you know, we see immediately we see the Trade Federation taking over. That's the beginning of the Star Wars. That is the Archduke getting assassinated, World War I. That's the beginning.
Yeah,
that is the
Franz
beginning.
Ferdinand, yeah.
Right. So we are at the point where we never actually see that civilized age that Ben talks about.
Interesting. Okay, all right. I stand corrected. So it's okay. It's okay to not like the Inquisitor's lightsaber because it's stupid. Because that makes sense. Because it's, because he's a bad guy and it's a bad time.
Yeah, and I mean,
okay,
taking it back to the Phantom Menace, there was, the whole, I think it was a cutscene, right?
I don't know.
Where Obi-Wan loses his lightsaber on Naboo, okay. and Qui-Gon, finds it and says, don't lose your lightsaber. This is your life.
Right.
Right? Qui-Gon is referring to, like, what he learned in the civilized age. Right? Mm-hmm. But the civilized age, as I just defined,
yes,
is over.
Okay.
So now the lightsaber is not as important. Like, people can throw them about and do crazy ass shit with them, and
right.
Only the Jedi are the ones that are like, well, the lightsaber is your life. Maintain that.
Right.
But the Sith are like, fuck, we'll just make a new one if we don't, if
sure.
we lose it.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Or non-Sith, non-Jedi will use them.
Sure. So if Jedi are samurai and Sith are ninja, they're like, whatever. We use throwing stars. We use whatever.
Yeah. Whatever it takes to get the job done.
Yeah. Poison things. Yes. Okay.
Right.
Got it. All right. Well. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. And if that were my only problem with the Inquisitor, then the show might work really well.
Well, do we want to go on with the Inquisitor, or do we want to talk about the other Jedi in the show?
Yeah, I think we should actually just start, just to give some loose framework. We don't need to do a list episode, but let's just kind of start from the beginning and work our way to the end.
So Kanan is a Jedi. He was a Jedi, a Padawan, in that basically survived Order 66.
Yeah, he was kind of an older Padawan, survived 66.
Never really finished his training.
Nope, not fully trained. But even a half-trained Jedi is like a Superman compared to an average person.
And he takes on. We meet Ezra, who's I believe is referred to as a street rat.
Right, he actually is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is so weird because all the Aladdin controversy. And then him actually calling a street rat, like that's a lyric from one of the Aladdin songs. It's weird. Very weird choice.
Very weird. So they find Ezra, and Ezra has Jedi powers.
Yep, he's force sensitive. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
And he collects. He likes to invest wreckages, investigate wreckages and stuff, and loot stuff from the Empire.
Kind of steals stuff from the Empire.
And he's got a whole collection of helmets.
Helmets, right?
Empire helmets,
right? And Kanan decides he's going to kind of train Ezra after a little bit of Ezra kind of using his powers in somewhat dark side ways. He's a little bit out of control.
Right. And you know what? I know we said we were going to start at the beginning and end at the end, but let's kind of cover all this holistically because now that we have the knowledge of the ending and everything.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like our summation of what we've learned. Ezra was born on Empire Day, the day that the Galactic Empire was announced.
Right.
Which I guess would be the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because doesn't he say, we're the rise of a new Galactic Empire? Right?
I don't remember. Is that a scene? I don't remember if that's the scene. But I'll go with it, sure.
Yeah, I thought mutant-looking Palpatine's addressing the Republic. And he's flanked by the Red Guards or something.
All right, I'll go along with that. I don't remember it, but
It's like
sounds plausible.
They have ruined my visage. I look really funky now.
Yeah.
But
And all the citizens of Coruscant are like, wow, this leader's really funky looking, but man, he can speak.
yeah, look at him go. He smiles so menacingly. Yeah, and his parents were on Lothal. They were kind of, what would you call that? Conscientious objectors, rebels, I guess. They were putting out broadcasts and stuff, anti-Empire stuff.
Well, it's interesting that you bring up the word rebels because I feel like the show is called Rebels, but in these 8 episodes, we haven't really touched on rebels.
Mm-mm.
There's a crew that acts like a family.
Yep. Yeah, by the way, Ezra and, not Ezra, Kanan and Hera are boyfriend and girlfriend. They call each other love.
And we have yet to actually, they're not a part of a huge rebellion yet.
Mm-hmm.
They hate the Empire. They're doing things to disrupt the ways of the Empire, but they're not.
They're part of something, though, because they have a mysterious person they take orders from called Fulcrum.
Mm.
And they've also been investigated by C-3PO and R2-D2 on the orders of Bail Organa.
That's true.
Because apparently, they're kind of like a splinter cell, acting on their own, stealing from the Empire, giving to the poor, literally. And
they're like they're like a Robin Hood.
Yeah,
type
very
of
much
characters.
so.
Yeah.
Loosely affiliated with something called Fulcrum, and that no one knows about except for Hera and Kanan, maybe Zeb. And
members of this crew that we've mentioned, Zeb and
Sabine,
the Empire has affected them in some way in the past.
right?
Zeb's entire planet has been wiped out. He's the last of his race.
Yep.
Something has happened to Sabine. She's very non-forthcoming with what has happened, but something has happened. Her family has been affected by the Empire.
Well, she went into Empire training, no?
Yeah, but
Didn't she mention that?
Yeah, but I think she also says something about I think
she saw
Ezra.
something bad or something.
I think Ezra asks her what happened to your family, and she's like, the Empire happened to my family. I think that was early on. So there's reason for these people to be against the Empire, but they're not a fully formed rebellion yet. There's nothing. There's nothing. They're just really honestly, they're terrorists.
Yeah. Yes.
Which is I guess where my criticism comes in. We're 8 episodes into the series, okay? Mm-hmm. A series that quite possibly could go only 13 episodes a season, maybe more. But we haven't really gotten to anything yet. The first season we know is only 13 episodes, right?
Right.
It's breaking. There's 6 more episodes, 6 episodes left after the break. We haven't really gotten to anything yet.
It seems to me like script writing 101. You go, okay, here's the story. It's about a guy named Ron. He works at this place. He does this thing. And you see him, he gets up, he goes in the morning, he gets on a bus, he goes over to this place. He sits down at work. He does this thing, blah, 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 da, 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 da. And then later on, he's in a bank and a bomb goes off. And it's script writing 101 is start it in the bank.
Right.
Yeah. That to me seems like what the problem is that I understand they're trying to build mystery and stuff, but literally every character is a mystery. There's no one for me to actually grab onto because I don't know what we're trying to do even. And I know there's an episode that tries to play off that where Sabine is Hera, I have to know what I'm fighting for, blah, blah, blah. And Hera's no, you don't. And she's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very surface level. We haven't really dug deep into anything.
Right.
And that's our big criticism of this show so far is we want deeper. As Star Wars fans, we deserve deeper. We've gotten deeper in the Clone Wars, we've gotten, some say too deep with the prequels.
Right.
Like, this is very, like, we need a little bit more.
And the most offensive part is...
I don't deserve is a wrong word to use there. Like, as Star Wars fans, we don't deserve anything.
No.
Like, give us whatever we want. We're going to buy your toys. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like we need something a little bit deeper.
It feels to me like if it's your first step out the gate without Papa George, right?
Which it is, yeah.
Yeah, and you're saying this is the first bit of new canon leading up to our new film. It's going to kick off all the new stuff. We're going to do 3 or 4 movies a year following this, but it all starts here. One of these characters could show up in the movie. You want to lead with your best foot, right?
And that's the thing, like, I don't think any of this has been officially said.
Yeah.
But, like, I thought that there was word that Rebels is a direct link to Episode 7.
It's weird, right? I'd almost have to replay the early podcasts to be like...
Where we talked about this?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, where it's like, what were the rumors at the time? There's so many rumors, I can't keep up with it all.
Well, I think that they said that, and they is, like, the collective internet at this point.
Yeah, 4chan.
Right?
Which everyone's getting all their news from, it seems like.
Yeah. Is that we were told that the Rebel show is a direct link to Episode 7. That characters will carry over to what we're going to see in the new movie.
Sure. This is going to be the first step in this. Like, this is the first outing of the story team. The mythical story team that's keeping everything Star Wars together. Finally. No more George Lucas running off, raping childhoods.
Right. But then we hear
we've got continuity cops taking care of everything.
We hear at a press conference Dave Filoni say, well, this is an appetizer to the main course. Well, appetizer doesn't really seem like that's a fulfilling thing.
Ron, before we go any further, and, we're getting in a good flow here, but I hate to interrupt it, but let's do a little pro-con. Let's jump into some pros.
Sure.
I feel like we're getting a little dark, because I'm not saying to write off Rebels. I'm not saying screw Rebels. I'm not saying screw the story team. I'm not saying forget everything Star Wars. Go sell your toys and grow up.
Right.
Yeah, man-child.
Right.
No. Pros. Number 1. Women in Star Wars. Hey, you know what? We're getting, granted, Clone Wars had a lot of this, and did a great job fleshing out Padme and bringing us Ahsoka, who we all loved, and etc. But Hera, Sabine, people seem to like them. They seem like a lot of potential.
True.
Even if one wears pants on their head.
No, true. Absolutely true. They are strong female lead characters.
Yep. It was when they had their episode where it was just the two of them.
Yeah.
I was not tuned out. I wasn't disinterested. I was into them.
Right.
They were good. So okay. And following right on the heels of that, a seemingly healthier relationship, cohabitation between Hera and Kanan, right?
Seemingly, yes.
Yeah, they seem to be happy and together and. Doing the right thing together, so that's cool. All right. We haven't seen that in Star Wars, actually.
True. No, true. Absolutely.
Okay, so that's positive, I suppose.
Right.
Let's see. Other things.
Stormtroopers?
You mean just the presence of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's say OT things. Original trilogy things are back. Just as we were promised. TIE fighters, stormtroopers, etc. And also, I find those things to be the best animated. Right?
True.
Yeah. Okay. So those are all positives. I actually like the dynamics between most of the characters.
Yes. That is actually a really strong part of the show.
Yep.
Is the dialogue and the dynamics between the characters is very unnatural and not forced.
Right. Yeah. I dig that. And it starts with very rough edges and gets kind of more refined through the 7 episodes. So I like the dynamics quite a bit. Like Ezra and Zeb, that's kind of already developed. It's very good. It's very natural. Let's see. Other things. I know with the animation we're going to have a few problems with, but I will give them credit for having the sense of mind to use a lot of open spaces.
Sure.
Which is a very OT type thing. Okay, now I've already... now when you start praising the backgrounds, that's when I'm like, okay.
But overall, I mean, I feel like the settings feel very Star Warsy.
Yes.
You know, it's a different planet. We haven't been on this planet much prior to Rebels. Mm-hmm. But it feels Star Warsy. It feels very... you know, I mean, it's based on the Ralph McQuarrie paintings.
Very much so.
You know, so, like, it feels like the Star Wars universe, which is good.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
And it's not like overly like, oh, check this out. We're throwing in a land speeder just to. There's land speeders in it. There's speeder bikes in it, but it's not like a wink to the camera.
Yeah, well, there's never a thing where it's like they use a land speeder and I sold it to some old moisture farmer.
Right,
you know?
right.
But they have plenty of other dialogue things I'll save for my cons. But other pros, Ron. What else would you? I mean, I think Ezra isn't a bad character.
No,
I enjoy that aspect.
I don't have a problem with. I like Kanan's lightsaber that he kind of has to put together before he can use it. Kind of because he's in, he's in seclusion. He's trying to hide his identity.
I like how the lightsaber beam looks.
Mm-hmm. I like that Ezra is kind of touching on the dark side and his training and his in Kanan's clumsy way of training him.
Right. Well,
they are getting close to the dark side, touching upon it.
We've seen what happens when a jumped-up Jedi starts training a young, powerful Padawan.
Right, and it is interesting in Rebels that we're getting a not qualified teacher teaching a too old to teach Padawan.
Yes.
Which is a very, very interesting dynamic, right? Which could lead to... a lot of dramatic tension in the future, right?
Right, of course. Yeah.
And maybe I'm just being impatient, but like, come on, let's get there. Like, it feels like, okay, you're giving us this little tidbits. Like, let's get there.
Well, that's kind of the thing. Is where did this all come from? It all came from Star Wars, the original, A New Hope, Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And what is Star Wars famous for? Cutting out the fucking chuffa. It gets right to the game.
True.
True. And so, while we're all big fans of character development, particularly, and also it's not a movie, it is a episodic television show. So it is different. But I don't know, man. We just recently talked about J.J. Abrams. Mm-hmm. His Alias TV show. I didn't watch a ton of it. All I actually watched was the first 15 minutes of the first episode. First 10 minutes, actually. Maybe less.
Right.
But within 5 minutes, I understood the concept of the show. And there was action right away. And I think if Filoni's hand is really behind this, and whomever else, it seems like it's a little clumsy. And also considering the fact that they have now come out and said this is intended to be a 2 to 3 season thing.
3 to 4.
3 to 4.
3 to 4 seasons.
So, what the hell? It's not like we're working with a novel here. Like, we don't have that much space to dick around.
So we're moving into the cons?
We have slipped into the con. We have slipped to the dark side.
Here's my big con with the show in general.
Yes.
Every episode...
Madeline Kahn.
That's a pro.
She was a pro.
She was a pro. No... Every episode, there seems to be a point where I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Why are they charging these Imperials?
Yeah, wait, what? We're all on board of a thing, and we're going down that highway again?
Yeah, every single time, I'm like, all right, I know I'm a little drunk here.
Yeah.
I get it.
I
get it.
Sure.
It's 11 o'clock in the morning.
I'm going to take
Who isn't?
I'm going to take responsibility for some of this.
That's right.
Hey.
But it's a 22-minute episode, and it's on a kids' channel.
Yeah.
Why am I confused?
And it's not even a multi-episode arc. And
exactly.
if it is, it's only 2.
Right? Why am I confused as what the character's motivations are to charge an Imperial blockade for no reason?
And like, I wonder whether they're charging a huge group of Imperials with this thing, and it's like, and all they're charging with is the thing that they were using to round up the rebels. And it's like, why is that thing so fortified if all it has is prisoners on it? Like, and these are the things that I didn't have to think about in Star Wars, the movie, for example, because it was moving so fast, I was having such a good time. And like, I would say this is another good thing for JJ, his version is the first Star Trek. So many things happened that, like, as months went by and I was challenged by other Star Trek fans, we got talking about things, I started questioning motivations of this and that, and it's like, oh, kind of weird.
Right.
But in the moment, he was really good at just, like, making it move, and you're having a good time, and da-da. Whereas this seems like it's trying to, but it's lacking the deft hand to actually pull off the trick.
Well, I feel like maybe the Star Wars fans are a little bit to blame here. We overanalyze things. I mean, you and I have a weekly podcast where we overanalyze things to a granular level.
Hey, I'm sorry, but
for 90 minutes.
I guess I expected when Disney paid $4 billion for this that they would understand that this is what comes with the price tag. You know?
Yes, that's the main crux of the problem here. Is like we were kind of expecting a little bit more because we got a little bit more with the Clone Wars.
A lot of it more.
We got a lot of bit more.
Yeah.
You know, we recently went through the Fall of Ahsoka episodes, right? Those episodes like touched me emotionally, right? Yeah. They touched me like.
They didn't touch your childhood. Your childhood was fine.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, but like I didn't tear up, but I was like, you know, I could feel the emotion at the end of those.
Totally,
right?
Totally.
I don't feel anything after this. I might as well be watching an episode of
Full House.
I was going to try to come up with a cartoon series.
But
I can't think of a modern cartoon series.
Oh yeah, I was thinking like Biker Mice from Mars. Mine are no better.
Ren and Stimpy. Like
I
was gonna say Adventure Time because that's the only cartoon series I know, but I feel like that has more depth.
That's got a lot more depth. I don't know. Modern cartoons.
Yeah.
Well, I think modern cartoons are actually...
Dexter's Laboratory. I don't know.
Actually, Ron, that might be... No, Dexter's Lab is pretty good, too. That's actually... You might just actually inadvertently come upon a good point, is that even children's cartoons are above some of this now. You know?
I think I did just come up with a point inadvertently.
Yeah,
because...
Like, I mean, Ben 10...
Let's face it.
...is better than this.
Sure. Adventure Time is like the go-to cartoon now, right?
Sure.
Like,
oh, God, yes.
That's the go-to cartoon.
Yeah, it's for kids, it's for adults, it's for everybody. It's great.
And that has a level of depth and that's like, those are not even 22-minute episodes, right? Oh, no, those are like 11, 12-minute episodes.
Yeah, same with the regular show.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, they're pulling off like big plot, you know, character arcs.
Yeah.
You know, like they're pulling off something, and this episode, this show, isn't doing it in 22-minute episodes.
No, and it's an adventure show. Well, fuck Adventure Time, I guess. But it's weird because it's like, there's a lot of questions. Why isn't this working better, right? And I think we talked about the title of this episode, Rebels in Search of a Cause. And I mean, that feels pretty apt. I mean, it's just, we don't know what they're trying to do. We don't know why. We don't know who they are. And I've been watching for, at this point, I guess we've come up on 7 episodes, over 2 hours, over 3 hours.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Oh.
How much did you know about Luke Skywalker within...
Oh, you knew about Luke Skywalker before, you know, he... whines the immortal words, you know. But I want to go to Tosche Station and pick up some power converters. Like, we know everything about Luke at that point.
Maybe it's cruel to compare a Disney XD cartoon show to Star Wars, but like you said, they built up the hype, not us.
Well, okay. I was going to throw it back to the fans here and blame us for a minute, and I forgot why.
Here, I was going to actually take it to the fans.
All right.
Also, I was going to the fans in their own words.
Oh, here's why I want to blame the fans.
Okay.
Because we are accepting this shit. Right?
How so?
You give us a stormtrooper, not a clone trooper, a stormtrooper. You give us Imperials, not, senators and dignitaries and political bullshit, but you actually give us, a actual Imperial in Imperial uniform. You give us TIE fighters, and you're like, we as a fan, we are like, this is great. This is Star Wars, but it's surface level. It's surface level. We get
surface.
We get Imperials that. I mean, the intelligence on these Imperials is questionable. The same group of rebels, this ragtag team, keeps causing the Imperials problems on Lothal. And the Imperials have not figured out that it's the same group every time. And they have not been able to capture these 6 people.
It's a weird thing when you've watched a series of films where they doggedly pursue a group of people who have much better supplied through the universe, through the galaxy. So.
Right, but we haven't gotten off the planet, which is a big problem in Rebels.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to just read a few things I pulled offline.
All right.
This is from a user on Reddit named Comet997. Different art style, sadly. While I agree with you that Clone Wars was visually stunning, it also had Lucas pushing them every episode to make it better. I read somewhere, sorry, no source, that he used the Clone Wars as a sort of R&D project to further animation techniques for ILM, parentheses, or his ego. Disney doesn't care much for pushing the envelope. I'd assume not as much as Lucas did. So, I like that, by quoting someone who doesn't quote a source, it's kind of like quoting a source. But he brings up a valid point, Comet997. It's, the Clone Wars was way better because it was funded by a guy or not funded, but was pushed by a guy who had a lot of money and a lot of resources and a lot of power.
He had a lot of skin in the game.
Exactly. And who, has demonstrated his, desire to make things as good as possible. So, I guess that comes down to how's that going to affect everything else, Ron? Granted, it's not as if he was overseeing everything with the EU, or he was overseeing everything with this and that and the other thing, but it was never all canon, was it, Ron?
It wasn't. It wasn't. I would say this. I feel like this is definitely a lower end project for Lucasfilm. We not to disparage Dave Filoni's name, but it is Dave Filoni.
He put it
on
out
this. There. It's not a J.J. Abrams. The common viewer does not know who Dave Filoni is.
Sure.
And Dave Filoni, I think he needed George's supervision, as you said. George was pushing them.
Yeah.
George is not there to push Dave Filoni on this, right? Yeah. I think that although there's a story group, I do think that the story group, and I think of it as kind of this Illuminati conference room of people,
right,
are handing down notes to Dave Filoni and his team.
Sure.
That Dave Filoni hasn't made it to the table of the Illuminati.
Okay.
So they're kind of driving the bigger wheel here.
You say the story group is.
The story group is. And what I mean by the story group is the movies.
Yeah, I think the story group is purely, no, we're doing this in the movies, you can't do that.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Period.
Right?
Because the comics seem to have no input from the story group.
Right. They may have given, Dave, here's a starting point, here's the end point, get there in 4 seasons,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And what you do along the way, I don't care.
Yeah.
As long as you follow these rules.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that although we love Dave, I think he did a great job with the Clone Wars. Like, I think what we're starting to, at least you and I, are starting to see is the Clone Wars was still a product of George Lucas's mind.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, if not his mind, at least his editorial sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so it... I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
like,
know.
It's not like I'm not gonna stop watching the Rebels. I'm not gonna stop it. Right when it comes back,
I'm paying for it. So.
Right. Well, yeah. But like I'm gonna continue to watch it, and when it comes back sometime in January, and continue through the 3 or 4 seasons that it has. But I don't have as high expectations for it anymore because they've already said it's only going to go 3 to 4 seasons. Yeah. Like, they've already said, well, this is it.
Well, see, that's my problem, Ron, right there. Okay, so the story groups here, here's my question about the big story group. Mm-hmm. Story groups here, they are saying what stays, what goes.
Yeah.
7, like, we see Kanan and Ezra do all sorts of crazy force ability stuff, jumping 40 feet in the air, stuff you never saw in the movies, crazy stuff. And I wrote most of it off to animation, right? It's like, well, it's animation. You gotta stretch and pull a little. But now in episode 7, I think, or 6, Ezra is like taming a whole bunch of wild beasts. Mm-hmm. Ezra is controlling a giant beast.
Phrynox.
Yes, thank you. Ezra's doing all kinds of. Basically, they're implying that Ezra is super, super OP. He's really overpowered. He's Anakin levels of power.
Yeah.
That's where I'm starting to be like, okay, this is... I understand we want the gravitas. We want that awesome scene of him with his hand outstretched, with his eyes rolled back in his head, like making all the beasts bow. I get that. Like, it's a cool idea. But you got to understand now, if you're going to call it canon, well, what the fuck, man? Who's the chosen one here? What's going on? And, like, I mean, you could... The problem is there's no realistic payoff. Like option 1, he is murdered and he dies at some point in the series, or dies fighting or something.
Right.
And it was like, well, this was just a weird isolated incident that happened on Lothal. It's like, well, why did I watch? And then it's like, or B, he goes on to become really powerful. He goes to the dark side. And he becomes a lesser villain, because there's no way they're going to make him the main villain of the movie, right?
Right.
I mean, it's not as if the Andy Serkis character is going to turn out to be Ezra, right?
Right.
I mean, that would certainly be mind-blowing, but
they're not leading into that. Like, It doesn't feel like they're leading into anything.
Right.
It doesn't feel like they're leading into anything.
Exactly. It feels like they created a really good, like, visually, these characters look great together.
Sure.
I love the color palette of the series.
Right.
But
the animation style,
yeah, the animation style has high points and low points. I didn't want to get into it because we'll just spend an hour ragging on it, because there are stuff that was just like the Wookiees in episode 1, which once again speaks to the whole, symptomatic of the whole series. Is that, like, why would you lead with the episode that has the thing you can animate the worst?
Right.
And it's not as if they're not conscious of it. I remember when season 3 or season 4 of the Clone Wars was coming out, reading an interview with Dave Filoni where he was talking about, like, the reason, like, we're bringing in Wookiees just now is because now we can finally do Wookiees.
Right.
And they looked better in Clone Wars.
I feel like in the press conference for Rebels,
yeah,
he talks about the Wookiees and about how they're still hard to animate, and yet they're still in the season premiere.
So it's like, well, maybe this is not the episode to have them, because, like, it'd be one thing if it was setting up something where it's like, well, you got to understand, we have to have them in the first episode, because in episode 4 it really pays off, because there's, like, a big deal happens with Wookiees, but the Wookiees are never mentioned again. It's
fan service at that point, because where were they?
Yes.
Kessel.
Yeah.
Oh, Kessel was mentioned in Star Wars.
Fan service, Ron. I mean, here we go. Episode 2. We show a little droid that's from Star Tours.
Right.
Which is like a fun little wink and nod, which I think at the time I appreciated. Right. We also get plenty of callbacks, which are meant to be clever, where it's like, okay, here's a good one. Kanan is teaching Ezra about the Force.
Yes.
Literally just directly quotes Obi-Wan.
Yes.
A living thing.
Yeah.
And on the one level, you're like, oh, it's clever because he's like a
He
Padawan.
quotes Yoda at a certain point. Too.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah. Do or do not.
Yeah, there is no try. What does that mean? I don't know.
Fuck.
Well,
Yeah.
You just totally undermined that line.
But I get what they're going for because it's like, well, he never finished his training, so all he knows is the rote dogma. He doesn't know the understanding of it, right?
Right.
But I don't know. There's just so much shit where it's like they'll start half of the ongoing thing they do is they start half of a line.
Yeah.
Like there's a famous line from Star Wars, and then they'll subvert it at the end. You know, where it's like, I don't feel good about this. Well, why not?
Yeah.
It's like, but that's just I made that up.
But I think.
But the thing is, the Clone Wars Season 1, if we're going to go back to the defensive side, is that the Clone Wars Season 1 did a lot of that also.
It did, but it had real stories.
That's the thing.
It had real stories. The first episode of Clone Wars was Yoda talking to the clones about how they can be more than just clones.
Right.
That was kind of a deep concept for a cartoon.
And honestly, I feel like the Clone Wars made it okay for John Boyega to show up in the trailer in a Stormtrooper outfit with no helmet.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely. Right.
I think the prequels and the Clone Wars, made that a thing.
Right. So I guess what we're saying about Rebels is it's...
Caveat emptor.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But in our opinion, it needs to be more.
Right.
And what I find disheartening is I find that there's a lot of people on the internet that are okay with it.
Well, I feel like it's getting... Here's the thing. And this is where it... Okay. On the pro side, I feel like it's a great setup. I feel like they came up with a really great concept, really great character designs. And I'm even down with the Lothal thing. It makes sense.
Sure.
Because, it makes sense that some characters aren't aren't galaxy trotting.
Right.
Right. And that you're going to have these stationary characters. And it keeps them their story, away from everyone else's story, and et cetera, et cetera. But the problem is it seems like it was just a good setup. Mm-hmm. It's not working towards anything. Now, because the biggest problem is I feel like they kind of know that, and to compensate, they keep trying to give us awesome shots where you go even if the episode wasn't that great, you go but yeah, that shot where Ezra put his arm out and all the beasts bowed down to him because he's so fucking powerful,
Right. But fans are, and I don't want to disparage again the fans too much, but I feel like fans are eating that up a little bit.
No, don't go back on the fans yet. I'll come back to them.
Okay.
Because then my other side of my mind goes, we're always comparing this to Marvel Comics, both the cinematic U and the comic book universe themselves. Mm-hmm. The other thing is, hey, Ron, we're going to get 3 or 4 movies a year coming up soon. This world's got to expand. There's room, right, for a Captain America and a Wolverine. Right?
Yep.
So, maybe we got to make room for the fact that there's a Luke Skywalker and an Ezra somewhere. I gotta, sometimes I find myself getting very puritanical, and being you can't do this, you can't change that. And then I'm like, well, if they don't change anything, we can't make anything new, right?
Sure.
So, I do gotta back off that side. But I do feel like this show is getting a lot of free pats on the back and stuff for being hey, girls are in it at least. Hey,
right, right.
Hey, it's bucking some old trends,
right?
Which I'm so into. See Ahsoka, but they have to be better written.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and I get this for kids, but we already have the Yoda Chronicles,
right.
The kids who are really little enough where they can watch stuff that's not written very well. Go watch Yoda Chronicles.
Yeah.
Right. This is supposed to be the all ages. Emphasis on all, including 30 and up.
Exactly. Because that's who's watching this. Mm-hmm. If it's if it's kids watching it, they're watching with their parents who are into Star Wars originally.
And like, let's not even make it an argument between like, hey, is it just for little kids, or is it for middle-aged kids, or is it for older guys? Because beyond that, younger kids have better written stuff to watch.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That's
the real thing.
That is the thing.
If you're competing for the little kids' eyes, then watch out, because this isn't going to grab them, you know?
Yeah.
So
I guess what we're saying is...
room for improvement.
Room for improvement. Just throwing in some TIE fighters, some stormtroopers isn't
I'm sorry,
enough.
Ron. I know we're trying to hit the button on this thing.
No.
But I got to jump back in again.
Okay.
So here's the other thing.
Yes.
Earlier, I started off with this Callus. Callus is
Porkchop.
like how I believe that, Captain Porkchop was supposed to be the big bad guy.
Yes.
Because, so it's just a weird chain of command. So ABC inserted Darth Vader into the ABC version of Sparks of the Rebellion, right?
Right, which just, honestly, in my mind, causes confusion.
Exactly. Because Agent Callus is like, I'm going to have to ring in whatever for this.
Right.
He contacts the Inquisitor. Inquisitor. Inquisitor's like, right, I'll be right there. I got to ring my boss. Darth Vader. You know, and it's like, well, fuck, why did we stop there? Why didn't Darth Vader then, like, you know, Your Majesty. You know, like, yes, Emperor.
There is, allow me to go on a side tangent here. There is a wonderful skit from Mr. Show.
Right.
Right?
I think I know where you're
Mr.
going.
Show was a sketch comedy show on HBO in the 90s with
I love how we're always giving, like...
Bob Odenkirk and David Cross, which was...
Bob Odenkirk from Breaking Bad or
right.
Better Call Saul.
Mr. Show was a huge influence on the comedy in my life.
Oh, totally.
Right?
Me too. Yeah.
And there's a skit where a guy walks into a convenience store and is like, hey, can I get change for $1?
Yeah.
Right? And the snot-nosed kid behind the counter is like, I'm going to have to ask my boss.
Right.
Okay. And he goes in the back room and like asks his boss, and the boss is like, I'm gonna have to call the manager.
Right. Yes.
And the manager is like, I'm gonna have to call the owner. Right. Oh. And this escalates up to the president of the United States.
Right.
Right. And granted, all it is going back and forth between the two actors, Bob Odenkirk and David Cross, just doing different roles, and the level of headaches in the decision-making process increases as you go up the ladder. This becomes a very painful decision for the president of the United States to make.
Right. Yeah.
As he's on the golf course, like literally like swinging his golf club at the ground because he can't make the decision.
Yeah, and it's like a funny joke, but there's some reality to the fact that like the more people you involve in this bullshit going on in Lothal, like...
Yeah, it's like, who's the boss here, and like, how far do we have to go up?
Yeah, and that's my biggest problem. I've said it since episode 3 or 4. Inserting helpers into the whole process. I first had a problem with this with Shadows of the Empire with Shizor.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, it's not so much that it's a retcon. I don't mind retcons. I grew up reading comic books. But like, it's this thing where it's like, okay, so now there's this new chain of command element. And it's like, I get that, like, you know, clearly Darth Vader had to have help killing all those Jedi.
Sure.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
But he had an army of clone troopers.
Right.
And generals and...
Right. Well,
like, why did he need this weirdo who
I
looks
would
like
say
the guy
this.
from the Mortis trilogy?
Right. Or he looks like the guy in was it Revenge of the Sith when Obi-Wan goes to the planet where he ends up riding that creature and he kills Grievous.
Yeah.
You know, there's the character that's
the banker.
Yeah.
He's not a Mun. He's not a Mun, right? He's not a...
No, he's not a Mun, but he's got like kind of the corduroy face with the shaved teeth.
Yeah, I believe he's that species. Correct?
Yeah, he's got the sharpened teeth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
and he's like, you think he's an evil looking, you think he's evil just by the way he looks.
Sure.
And Obi-Wan is like, what's going on here? And he's like, oh, nothing's wrong. And then he's like, everything's wrong. Under his breath, he's like, we're being held hostage.
Right.
Right. That guy is like a cool character, and I think that it's cool. the same species.
Yes.
Right. As Inquisitor guy. Right. What kind of does he have a real name?
Yeah.
The Inquisitor.
That's crock of shit.
Give me a real name. Give me Dave. Dave the Inquisitor. I would love that. I'm Dave the Inquisitor.
Well, or just I don't know. The thing is, that's the biggest problem. You hit it on the head again, Ron. Once again, you have blundered into a great point, and that is, who the fuck is this? It's not like he's Darth Vader, where the visual is so impressive and so not seen before that you're just like, well, he's the villain, and he doesn't talk much,
right?
Because of course they're fucking chatty Cathy,
yeah,
but doesn't tell me anything.
He totally monologues.
Yeah, he feels just like an inserted. Here is your bad guy.
Yeah.
Direct from the art department, bad guy.
Right.
So, that's my biggest problem.
And Kanan's been able to kind of stop him pretty quickly. He's not even that big of a threat.
Well, his initial confrontation with Kanan was kind of cool, where he gives him a bunch of shit and stuff, and he's like, clearly you trained with Master Jackoff because you use Jackoff style.
Right.
And at first I questioned that, and I was like, well, I guess it's been 10 years. I guess if he's been training for that long.
Sure.
But then I get all those questions of so Darth Vader's love of his life dies. He thinks by his hand, I guess. He's already killed a bunch of people in his order. The war changed him. And now he's got to go kill a bunch more people he lived with for years, because they all live in the Jedi Temple, right?
Right.
He's got to go kill a bunch more. And he says, now is a good time for me to take on a Padawan.
Right.
Or, it's because, the Inquisitor would need to have at least, it takes, what is it, 10 years to become an expert, isn't it the quote?
Sure.
Somewhere, it's somewhere like 10 years.
10,000.
Yes.
10,000 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
It takes 10,000 hours to become an expert.
Yes.
Clearly, the Inquisitor is a goddamn expert at Jedi stuff, where he can just look at Kanan for 2 minutes and be like, well, you trained with Master so-and-so.
I think you just stumbled on a key point here.
Blundered into.
You blundered into a key point here.
Once again.
Why? Is somebody giving Dave Filoni notes on this show? Why do we even need Jedi? Why does Kanan have to be a Jedi? Why does Ezra need to be a
lightsabers?
Exactly.
Lightsabers.
Somebody gave them show notes and was like, "Oh, we need lightsabers."
Lightsabers.
The show would actually probably make a lot more sense if there were no lightsabers in it.
And that's why I think it's going to be a hard sell to ever see a Rogue Squadron show.
Well, okay, but if it was just a band of brothers. No, we did that in Clone Wars.
Oh,
no, if it was just a band of Robin Hood characters wreaking havoc on the Empire,
sure,
in different locations across the galaxy,
right?
So it wasn't as traceable.
In sexy outfits.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Fox Force 5.
Yes.
If they were just wreaking havoc on the Empire in different locations across the galaxy, why isn't that enough? Why isn't that enough to be like, oh, we don't need to actually bring in the Inquisitor, who's maybe a Sith but not really, and we have a Jedi but he's not really, and he's training at Padawan but not really. Why do we need to bring that all in? Let's just have a band of scoundrels that are wreaking havoc upon the Empire, and they are leading into what becomes the rebellion.
Sure.
Has somebody just inserted their, oh, we need Jedi in this?
Yeah, the toy companies. You got to have a lightsaber. Kids don't buy blasters. And plus, blasters, you can't carry a blaster to school. It's a gun, Ron.
This is, okay, again, you've blundered into another thing. The toy aisle for Rebels is playing into this.
Of course it
because the rumors are now is like it's hard to in parts of the U.S. It's hard to get Rebels action figures.
Yep.
Okay.
Because people aren't stocking them.
People aren't. They're not being shipped.
Oh.
Okay. Like they're not being shipped.
Why?
Well, because like
nobody wants to buy them.
The speculation is there's not enough confidence in the show, so why produce a lot of figures that are just going to be peg warmers?
So, and because you might ask yourself, Ron,
like I've gone to the toy aisles in a Toys R Us and a Target. I've seen Ezra, I've seen Kanan. I have not seen a Hera. I've not seen a Sabine.
Saw an Inquisitor mask.
Saw an Inquisitor mask.
Yep.
But one of the first things I see, lightsabers.
Oh God, yeah.
Lightsabers, role playing lightsabers.
Oh, of course. And well, who wouldn't? Yeah, of course, kids love it. Now, I mean, that's the thing, though, is you look at it, and it's like, okay, so here I am. I'm Disney. I got Star Wars. Well, it makes sense. Because essentially the biggest thing with Disney was, previous to buying Marvel and Star Wars, is they didn't have a lot for 12-year-old boys.
Right.
They owned the little girl demographic with all the princess stuff.
Yes.
But they didn't really have a lot for 12-year-old boys.
Right.
So then they bought Marvel and Star Wars, which means they essentially bought my 12-year-old childhood.
Right.
And
Pixar. I mean,
Pixar
into this, too, which didn't have a lot of girl movies.
Or things for 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of getting out of the age of Toy Story when you're 12.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Well, but then you get back to it when you're 30.
Exactly. And then you cry like a baby when you watch Up. Yeah.
That's right.
So anyhow, so they buy this thing. It's like, okay, well, we have the boy channel, Disney XD, which is ostensibly that's the boy channel.
That's the boy channel. Yeah.
And because it's all action boy oriented stuff. So like, let's make a action boy oriented Star Wars cartoon. And so then it's like, so what then becomes the driver for them to be like, oh shit, let's put it on ABC and insert Darth Vader. Let's put it on the internet. And it's to sell the toys, man.
Yeah, right.
It's because they need to build the audience.
But if the toys
because if the audience isn't there, there's no toys.
But if the toys aren't there,
well, the toys aren't there because the demand is not there. That's my theory.
Yeah.
Like, I'm Target, and it's like, hey, Disney, we got a long history, we got a lot of good things going on, but we can't sell these toys that no one knows about.
So what you're saying is, when I walk in the Target and I don't see anything in the toy aisle, I need to go up to a Target employee and be like, hey, where's my Ezra?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah, right. Totally. I can't wait to get an Ezra action figure.
They have those. I've seen them.
I've got a sweet custom Aladdin I can give you. Anyhow, one more thing. I did want to put one more pro.
Yeah.
I did like in the last two-parter. Like, I thought Empire Day was going somewhere really good. Mm-hmm. I was actually kind of pumped for it. I was like, finally, the show's getting some direction.
Sure.
We saw a clone trooper helmet in the background of the bar.
Yes.
So that was cool.
Yep.
And we had this Greedo-looking guy who had his mind had been kind of wiped. Sibo, wearing kind of a Lobot-looking thing.
Yeah.
And I thought it was cool. I was like, oh, sweet. So now we're kind of combining the Empire's love of slavery with this whole Lobot thing, this Lobot tech.
Right.
And I was like, oh, what a cool way to give me a little Lobot background. And I was like, because this is kind of what I've been looking for in this, is that the Clone Wars did so much to make me better understand and add emotional things to the background stuff of the Clone Wars.
Sure.
Then, that's what I was hoping was going to give me more of that, so I could watch Empire and enjoy it even more.
Right.
Right. What's up with Lobot? I thought that was a cool little subtle Lobot thing. But then the second episode just kind of fizzles out. We've been building up this mystery of, who is Ezra's parents? And they showed this goddamn picture, and it's like,
yeah,
because I thought it was going to be a clone trooper.
Yeah, it's just a couple of hippies.
Yeah. And why would Sabine, who's been kind of deflecting him the whole time, do that?
Right.
Is it because she kind of actually likes him? Ugh.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, but people are still eating it up.
They're eating it up, and I don't think they all are. I think
don't
a
think
lot
they
of them
all
are very.
but...
I don't think a lot of people are watching it, to be honest with you.
Well, it's hard to watch.
Yeah.
It's not easy to watch.
You and I have to go through hoops.
Yeah, hoops.
We have to enlist a lot of people.
Yeah. Hoops. Stuff.
All right, so I hate to end it on a downer note like that, especially knowing that Dave Prowse has dementia.
I know. What is he thinking of the show?
Oh, okay.
Where's
That's, I think that's it.
where's my royalty check?
He was bitter towards the end, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
hopefully this will make him more relaxed.
Like, at least you're not Kenny Baker stuck in the can.
Oh, shit. I mean, although, I mean, yeah. Do you think because he had the dementia, that's why he didn't get a cameo in episode 7?
Well, I mean, there's definitely, like, I think that
Do you want to hear? Oh, sorry.
whether it's dementia or just his personal vocal views, like Lucas is like, enough of you.
Yeah, he was very vocal.
Yeah, you're the disgruntled employee.
Well, he also had a bad run-in with Alec Guinness, right?
Who hasn't?
Well, I mean, like him and Alec Guinness were supposed to, like, prepare lines or something. Alec Guinness said some, I don't remember. I heard a whole story he gave an interview on.
Really? Oh, man.
Yeah.
Like, I imagine Alec Guinness is just like...
Fuck off, you freak sport moron.
Fucking hippies. Yeah. I make bridge on the River Kwai.
Do you know who the fuck I am? Like, yeah, Dave Prowse, man.
Dave Prowse.
You want to hear my Dave Prowse connection?
Oh, I thought you had a Dave Prowse impersonation. I was like,
You
yes.
want a Dave Prowse impersonation? Do you?
No.
You don't want to hear it?
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to hear my Dave Prowse impersonation?
No. Yes, I don't. What?
Do you want to hear my Dave Prowse impersonation?
What did you have before I interrupted you with the impersonation?
That's the joke. Oh. That's the joke. It keeps saying it.
Oh, it keeps saying it?
Yeah, dementia.
Oh, that's awful.
It's horrible. But I do have a connection, though.
Yes.
He's my father. No, he's not my father. I did a drawing of Darth Vader helmet floating through space.
Okay.
Yeah, I did an ink drawing for it. I did it for a cause. I can't remember what it was.
Dementia.
Yeah. Coincidentally, my drawing gave him dementia. No, it was for like wounded vets or something. I donated to this thing.
Okay.
And so it got auctioned at some convention.
Okay.
Either in Texas or somewhere.
All right.
And he does the convention circuit.
Well, he used to.
Yeah. Well, who knows? I
He's
mean,
still doing
if
one.
they, I'll tell you, everyone, if they still wheel out, who's Chewbacca?
Peter Mayhew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the last convention I went to, Peter Mayhew was being pushed around in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
If they still wheel him out, I can probably still get a Dave Prowse autograph.
Dave Prowse is showing up at conventions. They're just not going on.
Oh. That was horrible. Saved it all for the end. If you made an hour 30 in, you can critique us. But so anyhow, he was at this convention. Apparently, he bought the drawing.
Did he really?
Yeah, that's what I've been told by the promoter. So
fascinating.
Yeah, so I guess he owns it,
or
yeah, or his heirs, or I don't know.
Well,
but,
good on you.
Yeah,
you got some money back from the Star Wars franchise.
No, there was no money. It was a donation.
Oh,
so
damn it.
Yeah,
just hoping you got some money back.
But maybe
for all that you've given.
Yeah.
You've gotten some money back.
He might be staring at it right now, wondering what it is.
Who is this?
What is that?
How am I? Like what?
Is that a coffee pot in space? Why? Anyhow, wow, man! I tried to end it on a not downer note.
I know. I just keep running it back.
I shouldn't have brought it back to the guy with dementia.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, and God bless Madeline Kahn.
All right, folks. I think we're done here. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel as satisfied as when I finished Rebels.
All right. Well, folks, remember, you listen to SW Dog because we talk about Star Wars.
We don't walk about it.
We don't talk about Star Wars.
You've got your mother in the world. She's not sure if you're a boy or a girl, but hey, baby, your hair's alright. Hey, baby, let's stay out tonight. You like me and I like it all. You love dancing and you look divine. You love dancing to play it hard. You want more and you want it fast. They put you down, they say I'm wrong. You such a mother in the world. She's not sure